No order in this top 10 dogs in the 2026 NFL draft, but 10 across the board. The Indiana cornerback, D'Angelo Pons. Possibly would have been the number one if I had to pick somebody just a shade under 5'9", 182 pounds. Makes up for that in terms of his physicality. Very much seeks contact. Has matched up with the ones all the way up to a national championship with Indiana. James Madison transfer out of Florida, came from the Miami area. 43.5-inch vertical. That has to be put in the discussion for people that want him to be 5'11", want him to be 6 feet tall. Nobody's going to get up higher than Pons. He led the cornerback group at the combine. I anticipate him, obviously can be an elite level slot corner in the NFL. I think he has the ability to play boundary as well. Whether something that's a hot take or not, feel comfortable with that. Like I said, with the amount of aggressiveness he has in run defense, with the technical skills he has, no wasted motion, so much fluidity in his hips. You see that cohesiveness between his upper body and his lower body in transition, and his back pedal, explosive. I love his hand play, his mirroring. Uses the length he does have to match as well as he can. Second, I'll throw another corner out here whose name is not getting thrown out as much. Georgia Tech cornerback Amari Harvey. 5'11", 179. You want to talk about him knock the hell out of you? Seeks contact. Thump on people hard, man. I mean, this kid in 26 starts showed that. The great intangibles. Very good at passing off assignments and zone defense. Press, he's going to hurt you. A lot of versatility in terms of what you can do with him. Second lowest ACC catch percentage as far as cornerbacks in the conference at 45.5%. There is a size profile. There is toughness. There's scheme versatility. There's production. Somebody that I know my Atlanta Falcons have had 3 visits with. Been very excited to see that. A lot of good talent coming out of that Georgia Tech program this year. And Harvey's one that, for consensus, to have him as some 7th undrafted free agent kind of player. No, I think day 3, you want somebody that can get in a rotation and can seamlessly transition to the NFL. The added speed, the added physicality. Michigan edge, Jayshon Baram. What a cool progression to see, starting as a Mike linebacker at Maryland, transitioning in that transfer to Michigan, playing an outside linebacker spot, and then ultimately moving down this year. 6'3", 241 pounds. I think I saw somebody describe it best saying he plays like a Tasmanian devil, man. I mean, so much ability to close on tackles, no wasted motion, immediate short area burst. Brings the tools of 36 starts at linebacker alongside 11 starts at edge this year. So much experience between those two programs. 82 pressures, 11 sacks at that linebacker spot. Showed that kind of production to give him a shot to ultimately move down, to have the physicality at that 6'3", 241 to hang on an edge. Rushes multiple gaps. That as well. I mean, he can get inside. He can mix it up. He plays like a 250-plus pound guy, but has the speed of that 241-pounder. Very twitched up, explosive. You could see in drill workouts, one of those guys that can just run the hoop, get low. And again, handles the contact, complete player, really like Baram. And I imagine he ends up being about a third-round guy. In my opinion, the biggest snub. Navy defensive tackle Landon Robinson. You want to talk about a Feldman freak. It doesn't take too long to see it. 5'11 and a quarter, 291 pounds. This is a weight room demon. 700 pounds squat max, 465 on the bench, 33-inch vertical worth of lower body explosiveness, and arguably the most impressive, has been clocked at a game speed of 20.1 miles per hour at that size. That is absolutely unheard of. Knows that low man wins. Incredible leverage player. Got the speed. A lot of people talking about him training with Aaron Donald and using that kind of as an archetype comparison. And I get it, and that's amazing. I think of it like a Geno Atkins in terms of just that leverage winner, technical, and just a tough ass. man. Landon Robinson has even had discussions about playing some fullback. Took some snaps at his pro day with that. There's been some discussion with teams. You want to talk about could take somebody's head off coming downhill in front of you in a Pat Ricard kind of style of the modern fullback that we all yearn for. Robinson, particularly coming from that Navy background, don't know how this guy didn't get a combine invite. You saw some of his testing numbers matched up as being in the top 1 or 2 as far as defensive tackle. Somebody would have to answer to me how that guy doesn't get an invite to the combine, particularly for all the guys we have that do not participate in on-field drills and on-field testing. Absolute snub, really pulling for Robinson. Georgia guard Micah Morris. Speaking from a Georgia Bulldogs perspective, we knew Morris was a freak. I didn't know he was a 9.98 RAS kind of freak, relative athletic score. 6'5 and a quarter, 334 pounds. If you had to do a comp in terms of his body habitus, it's a fire hydrant. He is built wide ass, big shoulders, a barrel chest. That's the most prominent. Heavy-handed, like a bar bouncer. This is the last dude in this class you want to get in a fight with. Very thick lower body, and the experience to pair with that. 50-plus games of playing in that Kirby Smart Georgia Bulldogs program. 5 starts at right guard, 13 starts at left guard. The testing numbers to have a 1.73 10-yard split, a 9.4 broad, a 5.0 9.40. This isn't some log that just stays still and is just going to eat people up. He can get out in space, and he can get some momentum and knock the hell out of you. Morris is somebody who's had as good of a pre-draft process as anybody, showed out at the Shrine Bowl. This is a day 3 pick someone's going to take that has the ability to develop into a starter in the NFL. Lily Famo, right tackle out of Wake Forest, Washington State transfer, 6'5", 314, 34-inch arms. Been a lot of discussion from people that think he could kick inside to guard. Okay, start him at right tackle and go from there. Worst case scenario, you're getting a run mauler on the interior, seeks violence, plays to the whistle, kind of guy that'll bury somebody. Snaps worth of experience and production, transitioning from program to program. He's somebody on day 3, I think, as well. You take to see what you got at right tackle. It can be developmental, be a great backup, and worst case scenario, he can kick inside and play emergency guard snaps for you, and there's potential to develop Famo into a starter. And we talked about Landon Robinson earlier and some of those fullback questions and some of those looks he's getting. You got to look at a modern version in this. Indiana tight end / H-back, Riley Noacowski. You want to talk about a football player, man? The old legendary Dr. Z quote of, you want a guy that looks great in the shorts or do you want a football player? This is a football player. 6'2", 239, 0-star recruit, walked on at Wisconsin, and has done nothing but climb the ladder since then. 13 starts at fullback. Hell of a blocker in that fullback role, playing H-back, a traditional inline tight end. 26 starts as far as that tight end, H-back role, 13 Big Ten. Very, very, very much on the tape, a key component of that national championship winning Indiana team. You have a team that has a vision for this guy on day 3. You're going to get a damn good blocker. You're going to get somebody that's all business. His violence is so fun, man. And there is some receiving upside as well to pair with it. And mentioning receiving upside, we're going to include a receiver in here in the dog category. Ole Miss wide receiver Jason Stribling. 6'2", 210 pounds, 56 starts collegiately between Washington State, Oklahoma State, and then ultimately Ole Miss this year. This is the best blocking receiver in this draft. Hands to match in terms of his receiving ability. 4% drop rate. Anything under 10 is good. Anything under 5 is exceptional. This guy is reliable. Goes and hangs a sub 4.4 at the combine. Didn't see that coming. I saw good speed on tape. Didn't see that level of great speed. Off the top of my head, I believe it was a 4.37. Gets in and out of his breaks, really reliable fakes. There's just so much to work with. The experience, the body habitus, the blocking downfield, the hands. He gets into day 3, buddy. You're getting value throwing this guy into a rotation for yourself. And then a name, we mentioned some Indiana here, and talking about this national championship game, throw it over to Miami. Keonte Scott at that nickelback spot is someone who I've wanted to hear that name gain more steam here at this point in pre-draft process.
Line for Miami. This game could well be won in the trenches. Carr rolls out, throws, and it's broken up.
A touch late, which allowed Keonte Scott to use that length to bat the ball away and set up a 3rd and long.
First and goal from inside the 1. Love stopped short of the goal line on what's going to be the last play of the quarter. Jacoby Thomas. After this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Perfect name to wrap this up, because this has been the star of Twitter this week. This has been the guy that no one had really heard of, unless you really are somebody such as myself that's a true psycho with all this. I mentioned earlier Georgia Tech having some talent, man. Georgia Tech defensive tackle Jordan Vandenberg put up as good a numbers at his Georgia Tech Pro Day. Another guy that wasn't at the Combine that would have just blown the roof off Indianapolis. A 9'11 broad, 36-inch vertical, 35 bench reps of upper body strength, a 4.91 40, a 1.61 10-yard split, and the best 20-yard shuttle we have ever seen at the position. I mean, this guy came out 100 percentile athlete, 99.9, one of the two. As good of a workout as you will see. And I'll tell you, look at him statistically. In terms of rushing yards allowed per tackle, and best way to describe that is contact is initiated. Are you letting somebody fall forward? Are you stoning them? Are they going back? I mean, 0.1 yard, and with second place being like 5 times more. I mean, just a humongous gap. You run into Vandenberg, you're not going anywhere but on the ground. You see that production. You see the violence. You see a guy taking up 2 blockers. You see somebody that can follow the play from engagement, go laterally to the sideline and maintain. You see that dependability on the goal line to use this testing strength and translate it to the field. Going to be a fascinating one, but I'll tell you, this is the definition. You go into day 3 and you want to bet on some traits, and you want to hand a defensive line coach somebody to work with and say, yeah, get creative. Vandenberg's got to be mentioned.